another type of our new products. That is the floor standing type direct expansion unit. And so this is also a split type direct expansion AHU system. And it consists of indoor units, and we're going to focus on the fresh air heat recovery type units and the outdoor condensing units.
Yes.
So Holtop direct expansion heat recovery purification air handling system is integrated with its core air-to-air heat exchange technology and years of air handling units manufacturing experience as well.
Yes, except the air-to-air heat recovery components. We also are using a high-quality brand names of refrigerant components. And with our Holtop independent research for the outdoor condensing units, the indoor units can be equipped in a varieties of air-to-air heat recovery devices, such as air-to-air heat recovery wheel and plate heat exchanger, and to heat recovery from the exhaust air to the fresh air.
Yes, and at the same time, the indoor units can be configured to filter, heating, humidification, and other sections to meet comfortable or production procedure air handling requirements. The internal smooth panel and a very low air leakage rate suits the standard of the purified air conditioning. It is widely applied to shopping malls, office buildings, and apartments, and seminar, and school, and some other application. Most of the indoor units are designed and produced based on the project needs. Yes, and the section name can be set. Such as heating, cooling, humidify section, and so on. And here we would like to mainly focus on our core technology of air-to-air heat recovery section.
Yes.
So first, as we know that air-to-air heat exchanger is the key component to recover energy from the indoor extract air and send the energy back to the fresh air.
Yes.
Holtop has dedicated efforts to develop most efficient way of air-to-air heat exchanger for almost 9 years. And so far, we have below kinds of air-to-air heat exchanger.
Yes. Okay. So first of all, let's show the picture of the heat recovery wheel.
Yes. From this picture, and you can what you can see is a rotary wheel heat exchanger, both for sensible and enthalpy.
Yes.
And let's have a check on the main features. And first, it is made of 3A molecular sieve coating, selectively absorbed moisture, and the thickness is only 0.04 mm. And the max diameter can be up to 5 meters.
500 mm?
Yeah, 5 meters, so you can see a big wheel with a diameter of 5 meters, and that is very big. And number 3, we have the CE certification for this rotor wheel. And number 4, and the aluminum thickness is only 0.05 mm. That's very thin, just like a paper.
Yes, very thin is very good performance to heat absorb and heat recovery. Okay, the second one that I'm going to introduce is the plate heat exchanger. It is a plate type. And right now we have enthalpy type and sensible type. But I'm right now to present to you is the sensible type. So okay, so please show the picture of the sensible heat recovery core. Okay, so as you see, this is a plate type, and the key feature for this plate type is it is sensible to heat recovery. I mean, from the exhaust air to the fresh air, and the supply air and the exhaust air, they are separate, 100% separate. And the resistance of up or pressure job can be 2,500 PA. And the under pressure of 700 PA, the air leakage is just 0.6.
Oh, that's very
it's very less, yes. And the gap distance can be 4 mm to 10 mm. And it is based on the car project needs. You can send an inquiry for this, and our sales team can make air-to-air heat recovery coil selection. Okay, so there is also another heat exchanger, is enthalpy type. Yeah. This enthalpy type is made of a paper. We call it ER paper. And this paper is very good for heat and moisture transfer from exhaust air to fresh air. And because it's made of paper, it is also has a feature of anti-flame and anti-reduction, or antibacterial. And the spray distance, I mean the corrosion, the wave corrosion is, the heat is 2 to 3.5 mm.
Yes, and that's very good. So another type, Tom, please show me the picture. And so here in this picture, you can find the heat pipe,
yes,
heat recovery coil. And when the heating when one end of the heating coil, the coil is heating, and then the liquid refrigerant inside will absorb the heat and evaporate, and the steam flow to another end of the pipe by pressure difference. The steam will meet the cool air here and release heat and condense back into liquid. Yes. And the liquid refrigerant will flow back to the evaporate end. So this is the circuit, how to play the heat recovery from the high temperature ends to low temperature ends constantly. And we have several key features for this one. So the first one is the low air
liquid
resistance.
Yes.
Less condensing water and anti-corrosion for copper pipe and hydroelectric aluminum film.
Yes.
And the number 2 is no air leakage and cross-contamination, because the exhaust side and the supply side is totally separate. And number 3, it is free of maintenance, so we don't need any maintenance works for this one.
Yes, about the low free maintenance, I'm going to introduce is another air-to-air heat exchanger. We call the liquid heat exchanger. And actually, this liquid heat exchanger is just like 2 coil, which is connected with the pipe, water pipe, and with a pump to pump it from the one side to the other side. At the inside of the pump, there is a liquid water. We call the liquid glycol air-to-air heat exchanger. So these 2 coils can be totally separate. They can be, one is, for example, one can have in the ground floor, and the second one can be on the 3rd or 4th floor.
Ah, that's very flexible.
Yes. So it can be very flexible. And the key feature for this liquid heat exchanger is the fresh air and the exhaust air. They are not in the same direction, and there's no cross contamination, zero cross contamination. And the fresh air and the exhaust air system are not limited. I mean, one can on the ground floor, the other one can on the rooftop. And finally, is the surface of the heat recovery heat exchanger is coated with organic resistance, and which is anti-bacterial.
Oh, so I guess this unit will be very suitable for the hospital, is it?
Yeah.
Because in the hospital, I found that they will set one glycol coil to one end of the building, and another one on the other end. So that is a very long distance, right?
Yes. As long as you have a water pump, you can pump from one side to the other side. Yes. Okay. So the above is for the flow type DX coil of AHU, the indoor unit. And for the outdoor units, they are all condensing units. And please also allow us to first present what specifications they have here. For the outdoor units, we can have 10, 12, 15, and 18 the horsepower. I mean, the outdoor units, which is the single unit. And for the above 18 horsepower, there will be multiple condensing units. The cooling capacity can be 102 kilowatts to 420 kilowatts as a combination. So the air-to-air heat air-to-air heat recovery AHU with DX coil, it would be a very good idea to most of the space. For example, for the industrial use, such as industrial factory, like goods manufacturers factory, which they request to have with very high requirements of indoor air, temperature, and cleanness. So normally people will introduce fresh air from outside and then cooled by the air conditioner and then sent into the door. But if in this case, a lot of exhaust air would be just sucked out directly to the outdoor, and a lot of energy consumption on the indoor air conditioner would be waste. So we can use this air-to-air heat recovery AHU to recover the indoor cool air from the supply air, from the fresh air, to pre-cool the fresh air. And but it's not enough for this pre-cool. For example, when outdoor is 35 degrees and the indoor is 25 degrees, but after heat recovery, the supply air can be something around 28 degrees. But this 28 degrees is not enough for the supply air of the industrial factory. So customer need to have air condition of this 28 degree.
Yes,
and at this time, a DX coil inside of these AHU and the condensing units can be solve this problem. So the DX coil can reduce from 28 to 25 or 23, even low as 23. So can introduce this air into the factory to make the whole production process meets the requirement.
So, wow, that sounds a very good idea and solution for the industrial factory.
Yes. So Holtop Fries, we have shared with you the Holtop DX coil AHU for ceiling, for the floor type and the roof type. So they have their own feature to suit different projects. And if you have any inquiry or any projects, they are going to use the DX AHU, and you are welcome to send us inquiry or leave us a message.